Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of my McLaren Return to Glory. This one is round 4 and the return of the Chinese Grand Prix. For the first time in this game, for the first time in this series, we go back to Shanghai and we're going to see exactly how these new cars perform and how, the track is on this game and all that good stuff. So, yeah guys, before we jump into that, check out the last episode, link in the top right. Spoilers are ahead, so this is your warning to go watch it. But yeah, we're going to jump into things here and see exactly what's cracking off. Now, the first thing on the agenda, which is pretty urgent, is the brake upgrade. Now, we unlocked this in the last episode and I'm going to buy it straight away. And I actually corrected myself and decided to rush it because we've been struggling with braking. The stopping power isn't there in the car. It's too fast and we can't get the car stopped. So I need this upgrade on ASAP and possibly the one after it. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that brake upgrade and we're going to rush it. Hopefully it gets here before the race weekend. We add to that a tyre wear upgrade for the chassis. And yeah, pretty much we're now ready to go racing at Shanghai. The question is, has the upgrade arrived? The answer is no. Unfortunately, we took a chance and it didn't work out. So we're going to go ahead and repurchase that. It will be on the car for the next race in Miami, which marks a whole year since our first race win in this series, of course. That was a pretty insane race last season. So hopefully we can, channel some of those heroics this weekend at China, if not next weekend at Miami. Now, rain forecast for qualifying. The first part of the session is going to be contested in in wet conditions, and the final part of the session in dry conditions. So it'll be an evolving process. We then have the performance chart, which we don't have that many upgrades on this weekend. Mercedes take a big step forward this weekend, along with also Williams and AlphaTauri. But besides that, everyone else taking some small steps. We're still holding it down in the midfield. We need to get a couple of big upgrades on to really help us make a step, make a splash, and make up some ground on the teams ahead of us. Anyway, here we go. Qualifying time, or more likely practice actually, to be fair. Qualifying is on the way after this. For now, getting the car shaken down, and we're going to see what we're looking at here in terms of pace and also wear rates on the cars. China is unknown to me. I don't know what to expect. Setup work. Tyre wear seems quite high. Fuel consumption is not too bad, to be fair. 45 kilo race load, that's not terrible. We've had a lot worse. So seems like the big concern here is tyre wear, which is to be expected, especially the front left around here gets an absolute hammering. That long right hand banker really hurts the front left. And yeah, I'm also keen to see how the new tyre temperature system works around here and if we have any tyre temp issues during the weekend. Anyway, qualifying time. Now we are going to get into it and we're going to see exactly what happens. Rain is falling, as you can see. The track is damp, so this should make for an interesting one because so far all I've done is dry weather running, so having some rain now is going to make things very interesting. So here we go. Intermediate tyres on our car, spray kicking up, rain falling down, and we're going to see what we can do on this first banker lap, making our way through the final corner up to the line. And our first lap is going to be a 1 minute 41.1, and that gives us P8, which is okay, not terrible. Definitely more pace to find, so we'll keep on pushing. We're going for 2 flyers back to back, and you can see we're 9/10ths up. This is a very strong second lap into the hairpin. Just trying to correct there. We run a bit deep on the brakes, so I get a decent exit to make up for lost time, and we're nearly a second up as we make our way into the final corner. 4th gear, 5th, and then 6th up to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 40 dead, pretty much. A 1 minute 40.0 P8, and only a fraction off Lando, so that's more like it. However, the track dried up, so dry tyres were necessary at the very end of qualifying, and I'm the last car to start a lap, so I get the best possible track conditions. That's going to be a big advantage in this scenario. So yeah, the track seems mostly dry, to be fair. So I don't know how much of an edge we're going to get. There's a lot of traffic up ahead, and we'll see what kind of lap times others set. Lando with the new benchmark time there, as I believe De Vries has set a time so far. Into sector 1, we are obviously personal best, and they're going green. Albon now setting a new benchmark, and now Russell are 32.2. So the lap times are dropping here. So there is some sort of track evolution, and people are going faster and faster and faster as we make our way now through the long left and the long right, with the checkered flag dropping. This corner here, a little bit wide, got some understeer, didn't quite get the nose in, which cost us a bit of time. And to be fair, it's not a terrible lap, but it is a bit scruffy. Obviously, it's my first lap transitioning from dry or from wet to dry, so it's going to take me a couple of laps just to kind of get into the groove again with the dry conditions, as it did in the wet. You know, the second lap was so much better than the first one. Right now, we're out, so we need this lap. Everyone's improving and finding time, and we're going to be at the very bottom and last as Carlos Sainz sets a new benchmark. For this one, spot the 100-meter board.
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session, and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap, or that's qualifying over for us.
We massively outbrake ourselves into the hairpin. Exit, though, wasn't too bad. Final corner, we bottom out on the curb, which cost us some straight line speed. Across the line we go, though, and we're through in P9. And to be fair, with a little bit of margin. So, yeah, luckily we avoid a Q1 elimination, which has been the case for the last 2 races, of course, which definitely is not something I'm happy about. You know, Australia and Jeddah was a bit of an issue. And we got knocked out in Q2 in Bahrain, but Lando just makes it through in P15. He was the first car, actually, or the second car, to get a lap down on dries, and he almost got knocked out by going out too early. So, yeah, Q2 then, fresh set of tyres, 1 minute 30.8, and the lap time is now much more up to speed. And we're only P12, so that wasn't the best opener. Seems like we've got quite a margin. I think the top 8 is the best we can hope for. Albon's signs are a bit far, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, we've got another fresh set of tyres, and we've got minimum fuel, so we're going to absolutely go for it, send it, and see what we can deliver. So, start the lap. Turn 1. Important here to try and stay tight, and just keep it tight the whole way into turn 2, which is when the corner kind of tightens up. That brings us then to turn 3, which is the left-hander, and I dip down a first to get a bit of rotation here to help me out, and then try and stay tight on the exit and get the power down as soon as possible as we head through 4 and then down to 5. Brake at the 100, down a 3rd gear, making the adjustment on the brake bias, by the way, down to 56, which seems to be helping me with this braking issue at the moment, and we're not locking the rears. Now flat out through the long left of turn 8, I believe, and then into 9, taking a couple of downshifts, trying to stay tight, which opens up turn 10. A little bit too early there on turning, but we get a decent exit through 11, and we're carrying that speed down to 12. Here, brake just as the curve starts on the right, which is about 80 meters. 3rd gear, short shift to 4th if you need it. I'm able to hold it in 3rd, and then we take the short shift midway through the exit. Try and stay low through the banking to gain time, as you can see on the Delta, and now take a breather along one of the longest straights in Formula 1. Open the DRS and prepare the braking zone. The 100-meter board is your friend in this one, so pretty much as the curb starts, down a 3rd, a little bit deep, but that's okay. We'll get it back on the exit as we kind of square off the corner and get a decent run. Final corner, down a couple of gears, a little bit too much inside curve, but we get away with it, and up to the line we go, and it's going to be a 30.3 and P8 provisionally for now. However, unfortunately, we then got knocked out of qualifying as other cars improved, and we got, to be fair, knocked out by quite some margin. So, yeah, bit of a shame. I don't think I had Q3 pace. I never felt fully comfortable with the car at any point this weekend. You can tell this isn't a track we haven't done as frequently in the last few years, and that has shown. And also, the trend continues so far this season. We kind of struggled in qualifying, and then we're strong in the race. I've seen some suggestions in the comments saying to lower the AI in qualifying, but to explain in a nutshell, we would get a very, very boring episode, because basically I would qualify where I should be, somewhere in the top 8, and then once we increase the AI to 110 for the race, I would pretty much stay where I am. It would become a very boring episode. At least this way, there's some sort of a fight back for the race and some sort of action for you guys to watch. Otherwise, even me, myself, I'd get bored. So, blame the game devs. That's just something on them. It's been them for the last couple of years and they haven't resolved it. So, yeah, I referenced it in my last episode. The AI are a bit broken over one lap. The more upgrades to go on the car, the worse the issue becomes. So, yeah, qualifying done. We're now going to move to the race, and we'll try and fight back as usual. To be fair, we're starting a bit higher up than the last couple of races, so we may have a chance of actually having a decent start to this race and getting some decent points. So, yeah, guys, qualifying done. Let's get into the main event.
It's time again then for Formula One in Shanghai. Northwest of the thriving city of over 24 million people is a circuit that first featured in the championship calendar back in 2004. It played host to Formula One's 1000th Grand Prix back in 2019. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Albon, Verstappen, Perez, Gasly, Bottas, Joe, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Martinez, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Magnussen, De Vries, Tsunoda, Ocon and Théo Pourchaire. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Now then, here we go. Time for the Chinese Grand Prix. We're starting from 13th place, so we have gained the position thanks to a penalty elsewhere. And yeah, to be fair, we're not a million miles away from the points. Now, this is an interesting race because we don't have, past history to kind of go off around here. So because we did a race here last season, I don't know what to expect. So this could be quite an interesting race and quite an unpredictable one. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, for this one, we're going to play it very safe. So one stop, medium to hard. Even that's going to be somewhat marginal because tyre wear is very high here. Fuel wire is 1.5. Again, I don't know what to expect. So I'm kind of going on the more cautious side just to be sure. But yeah, the key thing here is going to be pace. I really don't know where I stand. I think overall in qualifying, I did pretty decently. We was down in all 3 sectors pretty much, so there's not one sector where we're weak in. We're pretty much just struggling a bit in all 3. So maybe with our usual race pace, we can kind of fight back and actually be quite decent, but I don't know. So let's find out, guys. Prediction down below. What do you think is going to happen in this first ever Chinese Grand Prix in this career mode? And let me know what you think. But yeah, like the video, subscribe. Let's get to work, and let's see if we can try and hopefully have a strong race. Right then, here we go. Let's get to work and let's try and have a good race. Quite a fair few cars on softs. Away we go. Oh, someone's had a slow start up ahead. I think it's Albon. We've jumped a bunch of cars as we head down to turn 1. Washing out a bit wide as we make our way through. Most of the leaders are on mediums, so looks like Zhou is the last car to be on softs of the leading pack. Bottas there getting through, just having to be careful. Down to turn 5. Going to fight back up the inside of Valtteri. Yellow. No contact, just seems like maybe just slow cars. Bottas back up the inside for more. We're going to keep our foot pinned to the floor. Bottas now trying to run the outside. We're going to close the door though, as Hulkenberg actually passes Bottas. So that will take some pressure off, although Hulkenberg on a soft tyre will be hard to beat. Got to try and pass Albon here, who's on a medium. Put him behind us, that would really help. And also we'd get to the points. Right, here we go. Straight line speed test. Let's see how we hold up. Hulkenberg early on, getting the legs. But now VMAX, look at that, we're starting to pull away. Oh, had to brake late there. Even then I tried to avoid Albon. That was close. Held my breath for a second. Right, so end of the first lap. Up 2 places as we bottom out on that curb. Let's see if we can try and keep pace. I really don't know what to expect, so let's hope we've got some decent race pace here. Hulkenberg back for more. We'll try and hold our own, although this time he's matching up in VMAX pretty well. Braking super late. And getting back in front there. That brake bias adjustment is helping me out, considering the issues we have with braking pressure. My first sector is good, but my middle sector is really poor.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
They should hopefully calm down now and should be a bit better pace-wise. Hulkenberg again trying. Let's see how we stack up when the DRS opens. We're literally identical. Now we're starting to edge in front. On the brakes again, just able to stay ahead. Zhou and Piastri battling, so we're losing contact with the faster cars ahead. Looks like a similar pattern is developing to the first 3 races. We've got decent pace in the midfield, but we haven't got enough pace to challenge the front runners. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, wow. Signs in the gravel. Signs with the Maldonado. Or his best impression of him anyway. So that's P10 into the points. One of the big boys, not out of the race, but out of contention. For now anyway. Piastri's dropped Zhou and driven off into the sunset. A bit like really the last race, he was trying to chase him down. I couldn't really match his pace. I'm also running pretty low on battery now, so I cannot lose DRS. If we do, that will be pretty devastating. Well, I'll say that. Look at this, these two are battling. Burning up the batteries quite heavily. We're going to stay ahead. I'm great on the brakes into there. I'm able to defend my own. Zhou, Albon side by side. Albon gets in front into the hairpin. First sign, soft tyres may be starting to die off as Hulkenberg also gets overtaken by Norris. So the softs are starting to fade a little bit. That curb's horrible, man. I keep bottoming out every single time through there. We're just slightly catching back up to Piastri. Also, we're not losing that much time to the Red Bulls up ahead. There's Alpine also just behind the Red Bulls. So we're not a million miles away. We're all on the same straight. The pace is really similar. The margins are so fine this season, even though the positions are not proving that. You know, we're still floating around P10 like the last race. P7's right there. We can just get close enough. Strategy will be key this race. The timing of this pit stop will be key. I think Zhou may not have DRS. No, he doesn't. Only problem is the Alfa Romeo is so good at straight line speed. It's so fast. Up the inside we go. Bottas was also challenging there, so I had to go for that. This might cost us DRS on Albon. No, we just hold on. That was crucial. Okay, so we're out of DRS range. As I feared, I just can't keep up in that middle sector. I lose too much time. And we're out of battery now as well, so Zhou is probably going to repass. I'm not particularly strong in terms of straight line speed. Although Zhou hasn't actually closed in that much, to be fair. I'll give it one more push. I might just be able to get back into Albon's DRS here. Yeah, we've managed to get back in. That's crucial. Great hairpin. Bottas battling with Zhou, my former teammates. I've now got DRS on Albon on this straight, so I can use one last bit of battery and then hopefully start to recharge as we approach the pit phase. Piastri has caught up to the 2 cars in front of him, so there could be a 3-car scrap brewing away. So things are going to start happening now as we enter the pit phase. You can see there the Alpine and the Red Bull battling and Piastri in behind. This is crucial now for our race. Those soft tyres also holding on pretty well, and as I say that, Piastri pits in, and I'm assuming Zhou will probably follow.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
Right, let's see how this goes. Right, now this is going to be chaos. The pit lane is going to be busy. Also, Gasly battling there with the Red Bull. So things are opening up. That was a pretty scruffy hairpin, but here we go. So those two stay out. So this could be an undercut attempt. We outbrake ourselves massively there. Just the brakes did not switch on. Had to push the pit entry, but that cost us a little bit of time. Need the pit crew to be perfect to make up for the lost time there on my end. Here we go. There we go. We had to beat Magnussen, and we've done so. He was just arriving behind, and we're just out behind Albon, so we're okay. There's Piastri on mediums.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
And we're out ahead of Zhou, which is important. We cover off the undercut. But this is now an undercut attempt on Pierre Gasly and also that Red Bull he was battling with. Not sure if it's Verstappen or Perez, but based off this season's form, it could well be Verstappen. Shows right on my gearbox. He's gonna probably have a run here. We're gonna get DRS, but
Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits.
when the AI put the power mode down, no one can beat him. Albon's also pushing really hard. We're going to go on the outside. That seems to be our trademark. I'm able to get nice and lay on the brakes and get the car rotated. And let's see then, this is going to be very close. Out of battery. There we go. It's Verstappen and Gasly. And we've got them both. So this is now a battle versus Albon for P6. Undercut successful. Sainz is out the race, so it goes from bad to worse for him. Probably no safety car. We haven't had any this season, so I don't see why that trend would break. Zhou pretty close here, but I think we've got DRS, so we should be okay. Although look at the closing speed from the Alfa Romeo. We're going to defend the inside and show them the long way around. And just like that, we hold our own. Fuel's a concern. I'm using 0.6 per lap, or 0.06 per lap. And I can't afford to let off the pace right now. We're going to lose so many places otherwise. Pace is also very strong. If I let off the slightest bit, we'll lose DRS. Oh no.
Green flag, we're racing again, let's go.
Yellow flag, it's behind. Zhou out the race. His home Grand Prix, that's heartbreak for him, running in the points. Absolute heartbreak. That now breaks the DRS to Gasly and Bottas and co. We'll see, they'll probably catch back up there fast enough, so they'll probably be back. My pace is starting to drop a little bit, and I'm also running on low battery, low fuel. We're right on the limit here. Albon's trying to break me, and I'm just trying to hold on, but we're on fumes right now. Had to use so much fuel on the last lap to really close in on Albon again. Just trying to literally coast through the first couple of corners. I had gotten to a decent pattern of about using 0.2, 0.3 per lap on fuel and saving somewhat, or limiting how much we lose, but
That's just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
that one lap of heavy pushing has really forced me now to go into extreme fuel savings, so we're going to have to be very careful. Although Albon has lowered his pace a little bit, although that mistake isn't going to help me. Bottas right on my gearbox. I don't have the battery to fight this, so we're just going to have to let this one go. He's faster. I was happy with the Zhou behind. It was a better car to follow. Albon, Bottas battling right now. Bottas trying to push the pace, and it's causing a bit of a reaction in this train. I still don't have battery to really fight, so it's quite likely Pierre will probably go by. We were so much more comfortable with the Zhou behind, and fuel was now on its last legs. We're going to have to surrender just to finish this race. Oh yeah, I braked so early into there, man. I will not fight Lando too hard, to be fair. But look at this battle up ahead. Albon, Bottas going at it. Gasly's going to get involved. I'm going to let Lando go here. I'm going to use this as a chance to save some fuel. That battle ahead might help us a little bit. They might lose time. We may still have a chance here, but I've got to try and get some fuel saved. So Bottas has broken away. So Albon now leads the train. This could get interesting. I'm just about holding on. But hopefully now with Albon no longer having DRS, things might get a bit more spicy. Right, I don't think anything's going to happen. It just seems very status quo. Not a lot really changing. Fuel is marginal, so we're going to have to lift. We'll score a point, but frustrating, man. This season is becoming quite frustrating. 4 races, pretty much the same. I actually took on extra fuel, 1.5 this race, compared to 0.8 in the last one. And we still had issues, which really isn't ideal. So, yeah, double points finish again, but it really isn't what we're looking for. We need to try and go back to the drawing board and try to improve things a bit. Either way, checkered flag and race done.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the whole team at Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Mercedes are well and truly on top form. They are back to their old ways and they are dominating Formula 1. Hamilton wins pole and also fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Russell 1.7 behind. It's an easy 1-2 for the Black Arrows. Charles Leclerc, podium for Aston Martin, and they're knocking on the door. They're looking very strong. Piastri also P5, so a strong point haul for Aston Martin today. Perez P4. Bottas P6 in the first of the Ferraris. Albon then of course behind him. Gasly, Norris and myself running out the points. Verstappen misses out along with Ocon, and also confirmation at the bottom, Sainz and Zhou out the race. So standings, we are currently 8th. Lando is 2 points behind, so we're still in front. We're 8 points behind Sainz, who of course DNF'd here today. And Hamilton right now looking very dominant out front with a 27-point gap over Russell after just 4 races. In the Constructors, Mercedes also with a convincing lead, 75 points, pretty much double than what Ferrari have, so they have a pretty healthy lead. P5 for us, Aston Martin pull away today with that big points haul for them, with that P3, P5. So, yeah, work to be done. And yeah, hopefully that brake upgrade for the next race is going to help us out. But guys, cheers for watching, like the video, subscribe for more daily F1 content as always on the channel. And yeah, a big shout out for the members for supporting the channel. Much appreciate you guys. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.